Huge FITNA in 2024. Let's have a look.
Are you being serious, bro?
Yes, 100%.
Oh my God. This is horrible.
Yeah, I mean...
This is making me very upset, to be honest.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, to think that human beings like that even exist. This is a serious matter, bro. How comes we don't know about this?
Alright, let's find out.
What do the studies that you've looked at show when there is an absence of a father figure in one's life?
Absence of father figure in one's life causes all kinds of problems, even according to secularism.
Yeah.
Like even if we put the Islamic dimension of it to the side, increase in promiscuity is a big one.
Yeah.
You know, daughters that do not have a father presence in their life are more likely to engage in promiscuity, more likely to engage in zina.
You know what's like interesting about this? I've actually learned about this or heard about it 8 years ago. And now he's mentioning it again. 8 years ago, I saw in the news a study that women like that grew up in with single moms, they are more likely to get pregnant in an early age or even like divorce, this and that. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, where did they get this from? And 8 years ago, I couldn't like imagine this. Like, it made no sense to me. And then guess what happened? Over the last couple of years, like in my neighborhood, I met two, and this is not, I'm not joking. I met two young women. I saw them because they live here and I know my neighborhood and my neighbors. They both became a mother and they broke up with their partner. So they are single moms, two single moms in my neighborhood, and they both have one thing in common. They don't have a father. They come from a single parent home with just their mother. And it's actually funny when I think about it, because one neighborhood, two girls have this in a matter of 8 years, this sort of situation. And what's like strange about it is they have the same background. So this is actually very, very shocking. I see this in real life, and maybe you yourself know some of those girls that got pregnant and they committed zina and they don't have a father at home. They are just with a single parent, with a mom. Like this happens a lot. So this study is actually true because you see this in real life a lot.
More likely to engage in immodest behavior. Boys also suffer from all kinds of psychological problems. This is documented.
Lack of self-love?
It's interesting because liberals will point to stats regarding single parent household, typically single mother. And there's all kinds of problems like increase in drug addiction, increase in depression, increase in dropping from school, increase in falling into crime and being prosecuted for crimes. All of these dimensions are elevated when you don't have the father figure present in the lives of children, whether male or female. And it's funny because liberals cite these stats because they want to promote abortion. They say, hey, if we don't allow abortion and give the mother the right to, you know, terminate the pregnancy, these children are going to be born out of wedlock to a single mother, and the society will suffer because of an increase in crime rate, dropout rate, drug use, etc. So they're pointing to these stats to promote abortion.
That's why they want to change the law.
Same stats for just single motherhood. Like,
let me update you guys on something here in Germany. So in Germany, actually, it's like that. If you as a woman get pregnant and you want to do abortion, it's actually illegal to do that here in Germany unless you have a serious reason, like maybe, I don't know, like rape, or someone maybe, I don't know, has like some really, really big social issues, or is maybe a criminal that's wanted or something. Like there are some extreme cases where you are allowed to do this, but otherwise it's forbidden. And what some women do here in Germany, and I've heard this in the news, and this is very, very scary and shocking, they're just going to a neighboring EU country that does not have a ban on abortion. So they go abroad, one country further, they get the abortion, and then they come back to Germany because it's not legal here unless you have a serious reason. And there's also, I think, a time period only you can do it, and after that it becomes super illegal, like double illegal or something. So this is actually true, and I've heard that some politicians also here in Germany, they want to now legalize abortion. I'm not sure. I think in the UK it's like that too, right? Isn't it? I'm not sure. But here in Germany, there are like some parties are considering legalizing it now, and like, yeah, maybe it's really like that because of like some statistics that show, oh, children born to single moms, they cause lots of issues, and maybe the single moms, they can't really work that much, right? So they have to get government help as well. What makes the government spending on people even higher? Like, I definitely see some financial reasons behind this, social reasons, but yeah.
Like you're cutting off the father figure, and your children are going to suffer. So some of these mothers, even if you tell them the stats, they have this emotional desire to take revenge or to somehow make their husbands suffer in this very unjust way.
No, definitely, me growing up, I can tell you from my own experience that, I mean, it was a craving that I had, bro. Like, you know, the father not being there.
Oh.
This was, I would never put this down to my mum. It wasn't her, you know, decision at all. But just the pain, really.
So he grew up without a father. I didn't know that.
The craving for a father figure, the wanting to see a role model. It's a treasure, or it's a gift that if you remove from a young man, I think it can cause all kinds of problems. For me, it did cause these problems. And it really does kind of like diminish and deprecate one's childhood.
So this is a huge societal problem. And unfortunately, now we're seeing more Muslims fall into this because of the court system that empowers women.
Muslim fathers are at a disadvantage here because you're going to the family court to a non-Muslim judge. They don't understand our religion. They don't understand, you know, cultural practices, religious practices. Yet they are making decisions that affect our lives.
Like one specific thing I think that the Muslim women do is that they will
abuse.
This is the sad thing. They'll appeal to Islam, and they'll say that Islam has made my husband more of a misogynist because of teachings in Islam.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim. This actually happened here in Germany. I know one family this happened to, and people talked about this, and it was like this. So it's actually sad when you think about this. So there was one couple that got married, and they got married the halal way. They didn't have a fancy party, no music, no free mixing, this and that. And now that woman, I actually talked with that brother even on the phone, and that woman did following. She actually kind of like pushed Islam to the side and all the Sharia laws and everything to benefit out of the situation of living here in Germany in the West. So suddenly they split up, they have a divorce, right? And then the woman suddenly doesn't practice Islam for a time period and pushes it to the side and forgets about that at a certain age the child has the right to also be with the father, this and that. And she says, oh, I live in the West, women have here more rights than men. I'm gonna abuse the law. I'm gonna forget for a moment that I'm a Muslim. I'm gonna take my kids. I'm gonna make it where the father only can see my kid once a week, maybe once a month. And I'm gonna break the ties of the child to the father. And this is what some sisters do here. And sisters, if you're doing this, you have to fear Allah. And same with the brothers. If you forbid your ex-wife from seeing your kid, you have to fear Allah. It goes for both. But I see this more prominent in the sisters community actually, and this is very, very sad. And this comes also from the feminism movement, where like men are being lost of, like they are being removed. All the rights are being removed from the men. Like seriously, all the rights you have in Islam that protect both the women and the men. Now suddenly, when it comes to Sharia, the woman comes to the guy. Oh, you have to provide for me, you have to pay for me, you have to clothe for me, you have to give me the mahar, you have to do this, you have to do that, you need to protect me. If someone breaks into our house, you have to be the body shield for me, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to be super masculine, you have to go according to Sharia law. But once it is a worldly matter or separation, there's no more Sharia law. Where are the rights for the husband? Suddenly the wife has the right of Islam and of the Western country. Now a woman has double rights, but the man has no rights. And this is something where like some sisters really need to fear Allah, because there's Al-Qiyamah and that true justice will be done, right? So be very careful. Don't do this. Plus, think about the children, right, that are in such situation. If you don't give them a 50-50 split between mom and dad, and you make it where the mother is 90% of the time with the kid, the father only 10%, you're alienating even the father, that the child has no connection to the father, and then you bring in a new father figure that in Islam is even haram, because you can't actually, as a man, it's actually forbidden to adopt a child of another man, especially if that man is still alive, right? So you can't just change the last name and say, hey, I'm the new father. Where are the rights and the respect for the real father? And sometimes it's not the father that does not want to see the child, but it's the mother that forbids the father from seeing the child and from fulfilling his rights and giving everything he has to the kid, right? Be it love, be it financial support, teaching the kid, teaching a young boy how to become a man. Like, you can't learn how to become a man from a woman as a young boy. You need a man to learn how to be a man.
That Islam has made my husband more of a misogynist because of teachings in Islam.
Really?
And my husband, recited these verses from Surah An-Nisa, Al-Rijalu Qawwamun 'ala An-Nisa. They have a patriarchy in Islam.
They do that.
Yeah, they'll cite things like, he's in favor of the concept of jihad. He's mentioned jihad at the dinner table. He's potentially jihadi. He's potentially a terrorist.
So I think this is treachery. I think
yes,
this
it is.
nifaq.
No doubt.
It is nifaq.
It reaches the level of nifaq.
It's nifaq, yeah.
They'll cite hadith. They'll say, he doesn't really, he believes in minor marriage. This is a danger to my children. And it's the solicitor
It's
or the
lies.
lawyer.
It's not even honesty.
Honestly, it's just horrible. I mean, to think that human beings like that even exist.
This is what we see. This is what we see every day in the family court.
You see this every day?
Every single day we see Muslim sisters coming and making these exact allegations.
Are you being serious, bro?
Yes, 100%.
Oh my God. This is horrible.
Yeah, I mean, they'll pick and choose aspects of
this is making
Islam.
me very upset, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's like when Islam benefits you. Oh, I'm a Muslim. Yeah, Sharia law. When it is in some form giving you a disadvantage, even though there's some good in it that you don't see, but Allah knows, right? Oh, this is against me. For this moment, no, I will not be a Muslim. I will go with the law of the kuffar. Like, this is the thing, right? Like, this is the same with making money these days. Like, there are people, and this is also a fact when it comes to the business world, they are willing to do haram and make haram money, a haram income, because the haram income is higher than the halal income. They don't care if there's any barakah behind it. Oh, there's no barakah, but there's a big paycheck. Let's do this. A'udhu billah. There are some individuals like that too. They literally sell their soul for this dunya. And the women that do this, they sell their soul for this dunya too. Maybe they have the child in this dunya, right? But if they don't repent and return, they're going to get a punishment once they get old and die. Because they did something way back then and they never repented or fixed it. Can you make a mistake and repent? Allah is the all-forgiving. But those individuals, they don't even do tawbah. A'udhu billah.
This is a serious matter, bro. How comes we don't know about this?
This is it. This is why we exist.
We need to talk more often about this. Yeah, make awareness, create awareness.
Women, they have been fed this victim narrative.
Yes.
That they are oppressed by Muslim men. Muslim men are more tough. And the judges in the cases take that into account. Like, he's a Muslim man. He's going to be in favor of wife beating. He's going to be in favor of this
It's a false stereotype.
So they really milk it even more. The Muslim women, because of this victim narrative and how Islam is patriarchal.
Coercive controlling behavior. That's what they now use in the family courts. So anything your husband asks you to do, that's coercive controlling behavior.
Aha.
Yeah, so I think it was round about in 2015, they brought coercive controlling behavior as a definition of domestic abuse and violence. Before that, it wasn't in there. The reason why they did that, because there was a push from the feminist movement, because the statistics showed that fathers were getting access to their children. Court cases were becoming successful for fathers, they were gaining access. So all of a sudden, there has to be something there now to stop the fathers getting access. So what happened then was they brought in the Domestic Abuse Act, coercive controlling behavior. Now, literally, it's such a vague and grey thing. Anything can be coercive controlling behavior. So like, some of the examples you mentioned, working, I've had women in family courts that have chosen not to work. They've chosen to be housewives, but in the family court, they're saying he prevented me from
Really?
working. Sisters who were full on niqabis before marriage.
Yeah.
They've then, taken off the niqab, wearing a hijab.
Yeah.
But then they've, in the family court,
shown images
telling
of what?
them that he forced me to wear hijab.
A sister comes to the court with the niqab day 1, day 2 court, only hijab, and then she says, my husband forced me to wear the niqab. A'udhu billah. How can any individual not have any heart or consciousness? Like, don't you feel guilt doing this? Like, aren't you like afraid to stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala one day and you have to explain? Like, what is this behavior? Like, why? Like, you're putting something away from your religion. Like, you're throwing part of your practice away just to destroy a guy out of hatred or because you want to have some sort of worldly benefit. And you sell your akhirah for it. A'udhu billah, that's disgusting.
Or like traveling without a mahram, or I don't want you to go out at night after a certain time.
Okay, so let's be frank about this. Okay, because I think what we've done here is, I mean, if I continue hearing this, I'm going to get very upset. Because this kind of thing is just like, I consider it to be treachery.
It's treachery.
To the Muslim community, to Islam, to Allah, His Messenger, to the man, to their own children. Like, that must be described as evil. That must be described as evil.
This is evil.
From the Islamic perspective and otherwise. Even a non-Muslim can see that. But we've spent a lot of time talking about the problems. The question now is, what are the solutions? How does a man navigate this mess in the West, in the UK, in the US, in Canada, and Australia?
I have an advice for those men. Try to record as much as possible. And okay, now this sounds very evil, like you're a spy on your wife. But if you experience that maybe, okay, this is our advice, okay? If maybe you and your wife are not going to be any longer together soon, record a lot of her daily life. Try to get screenshots, any footages of her actually showing interest herself in wearing the niqab or doing something right. And if then something happens in court, you can actually prove that she herself wrote in chat, I don't like going out at night because I feel in danger. There's like this drunk that approached me the other day. I no longer want to go out at night. Keep this on the phone. Why? Because if in court she says that you prevented her from going out, you have counter proof on your phone, because on your phone it says, she herself wrote she doesn't feel comfortable going out, or she herself said in this post on TikTok or Instagram that she became now a niqabi because she's convinced about this. So she's doing this voluntarily or something. Like, try to collect evidence against your spouse if you see any signs, but do this in secret. Be careful to not get caught. If you see any signs that this could lead into a split up, you need to have evidence, because unfortunately men are at a disadvantage. So you need to have some sort of camera footage, images, information from previous chats with date and everything, time, and you need to bring this to the court as a counter evidence in case there are lies about you. And this is sad, but you basically need to live in a marriage with a camera 24 hours recording you, so you can like prove that you're innocent almost. This is a sad thing. And the even better advice is, get to know a woman at least a bit before you marry her, and make sure she's actually with taqwa, and check her world views, and make sure she's someone that would not even consider a separation, and that is a fighter, and that rather repairs something than breaks something. So yeah, best advice, pick the right spouse for you. Make sure this is a safe and stable person that has also Islamic knowledge, because with Islamic knowledge comes taqwa. If it's a person that has no knowledge in Islam and it's just like a culture or tradition to practice the deen, this person is maybe not so strong and will sell the soul even for this dunya. So yeah, be careful who you pick. And if you see any signs there could be a separation, try to record and save a lot of footage that will protect you in case there are lies about you, so you can expose that person as a liar.
The UK, the US, and Canada, and Australia, wherever it may be, what would you guys propose?
Wow, It's actually scary. Like, there's a huge family fitna. Like, they should have not named the title Huge Fitna. They should name it Huge Family Fitna. Because when I read the title, I thought fitna like there's like temptation outside or something. But this is like fitna within families and for like separations and this and that. But whew, this is scary. Like, I think every man these days is scared of this in the West. If you live in like an Islamic country where there's Sharia law, you have like more protection. But even there, they start to change the law more and more. And you know, it's like, what's like weird? There's actually destruction being done on both sides, right? Like, you're destroying the women and at the same time you're destroying the men. So the men, they become scared to get married, right? And they become like introverts, right? They only want maybe commit zina or something. They no longer want to marry. This causes women to have more struggles to find a guy that's willing to marry them, and also in a short period of time, right? Like, I often hear complaints in forums. Like, I read through forums as well to educate myself about situations in the Ummah. And what I read a lot in Islam forums is that there are women complaining that they met a potential spouse and this guy is already talking to the sister for 1 year, a whole year, and he still is not married to that sister, and she's wondering why it takes him 1 year to decide or to give the final yes, right? And to go actually to an appointment. So there's sisters complaining that guys don't want to settle with them even after 1 year. And then you have, on the other hand, guys complaining that they find the girls that they can marry too liberal, and that they have like signs of feminism. So this is like that. So the women expect a masculine, serious guy that is committed, but at the same time, the guys are scared of the women because they see signs of feminism and liberalism. So the women want string attached, and the guy does not want string attached because the guy is scared, and the woman, she actually wishes a guy was committed. So this is the issue right now, right? Like, there are no more guys that want to commit and take responsibility out of fear. And the women, they show signs of some of them, not all of them, of liberalism, and this scares of the guy to commit. So what do we have here that we can do to solve the situation? So the guys need to become more responsible, and they need to be braver, and they need to approach and do it the right way. Not let a sister wait a year, but maybe do it in like 3-4 months. So you get to know the sister 3-4 months, then you do the nikah, right? And women need to be careful who they get inspired by and what sort of media they use, because you can have a very, very good sister that's strong on the deen, but because of social media usage and because of her friend circle, she becomes very liberal and very feministic, right? Like, so much feminism gets into her, indoctrinated, that she becomes a woman that guys are scared of because they think she will use the law to destroy them later on, especially once they have children. So the guys need to lose fear, and they need to become brave and responsible, and the women need to be not feminism, like no feminism, and they need to show that they are trustworthy. I think both sides are being damaged these days, so there's definitely huge fitna in 2024. But yeah, let me know your experiences and your thoughts in the comment section. If you guys are new to this channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more content. And if you guys think this video is informative, please don't forget to give this one a thumbs up. And for the kids out there suffering through this, like, be patient with your parents. Like, it's annoying. I wouldn't want to be in such situation where I have a mom and a dad that constantly fight with each other. They're going in court against each other, and I can no longer see my dad and stuff. Like, this must be a horrible situation to be in. What Muhammad Hijab here said, like, with how he missed his father. I feel like a lot of kids miss the father. And for the sisters out there, please give your child access to your father. You just heard from Muhammad Hijab how he missed his father back in the day. And I'm sure many kids miss their father right now because you only make them see their father once a month. Some of you maybe don't even make the child see the father at all. Do tawbah to Allah. Allah is all forgiving, and give now. If you didn't give before the rights to the father, do it now. Return to Allah, do tawbah, and give now the rights to him. Do it before it's too late, because some damage is probably already done. So yeah, that's my nasiha to people that have made the wrong choices. Correct them now. There's still time. And inshallah, all will improve. May Allah protect the families from separation. Ameen. May Allah keep you all steadfast on the deen. Ameen. And yeah, I will see you guys next time, inshallah.